Let me ask you this. What is the most isolated country you could play as in Rise of Nations? Is it Antarctica? Is it St. Helena? Is it New Zealand? Well, actually, none of these countries are the most isolated. The most isolated country is Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Island, which is so far away from everyone else that most people have a hard time even finding the country. But today, we're going to be turning this forgotten island into a global superpower and spread the MOAI statues across the entire world. Let's begin. So the plan here is to immediately take Chile, which has a pretty high population and a square city to make tanks. And then I go take Argentina. And after taking Argentina, I move up through South America, taking Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador. Then I make a ton of infantry to take Brazil. And if the USA is a player, I'll go invade USA. Seems like a pretty solid plan. When I join in, I do the normal small country setup of an electronic and fertilizer factory, and the spending and policies to rush for quantum, and this time I'm using the specialization doctrine because I'll be making a ton of infantry later. I just declare on Chile and lure the home guard and then mountain specialize, split them into 2 stacks with one of them going north and the other going south, and then I max military spending so they're stronger. Most people have a hard time taking Chile because of the mountains, but I slowly move my troops up around the small cities until I can eventually force peace. After saving up political power, I also managed to get limited conscription very early on. So here's a time-lapse of me taking Chile. I wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind. AK-47s, Mac 11s, Glocks and 9s, and all these people they be hating, trying to knock me off my grind. But I can't let them do it, I got murder on my mind. I turned off reinforcements on this unit here, which was a big mistake on my part, because it couldn't take the last city I needed to force peace. So I had to make a unit of infantry when I realized this. But it didn't come out for a very long time because I was making consumer goods on my capital. I sold some consumers, and finally, after 3 years, I can annex Chile. I was getting quite a high amount of income from trades, which helped me stay out of deficit. After Chile's unrest went down, I made tanks in the capital so I can go for Argentina. You can see here France was getting confused in chat. I'm so isolated that he doesn't even know where I am. I got quantum in 2022 and went for political take after. Argentina's home guard got evaporated because of how entrenchment is buffed in mountains. I decided to just micromanage every unit because of how awful the terrain is. I maxed out infrastructure on my capital, and I'll just go for tax features right now. And after getting taxation 5, I'm going for cybernetics. And now I just keep developing since I need to increase my income, but developing increases manpower just as much as it increases income, which is very important when I'm using infantry, because I need to make millions of infantry if I want to dominate. I was developing and taking Africa, and I wanted to invade Brazil too, but unfortunately someone joined as Brazil and joined Canada's faction, which means if I want to get Brazil, I'll also have to invade Canada too. The way a faction works is I need to take down the entire factions just to end the war and annex the land I've taken. And not only do I have to annex Canada, I need to take every single Brazilian city and every single Canadian city, or else I just won't get Brazil. And Canada has those faraway cities in the winter, so it's going to take a while. My troops are on their way. I realized Canada has cities in America, so I decided to declare on America too. I auto-captured Canada, and then I gathered millions of troops and captured Brazil too. Canada then switched to Cuba and declared on me, then left. So right now, I'm number 1 in rankings. Here I got into some trouble. Venezuela justified liberation on me, and I can't just let him do a liberation war because then I won't get the land even if I win the war. I immediately declared conquest on him. So if I win this war, I can get his land. And I tried to break through his fort, but then I had a hard time getting through the mountains. And as soon as the war starts, I get deserters. Negative 2 million manpower. I have the worst luck imaginable. He had no air defense, so I could easily just bomb him. But I can't make units because I have negative manpower. And the only thing I can do now is try to take his cities with the infantry I already have. And because Canada switched to Cuba and auto-captured, the Cuban AI troops started to recapture Canadian cities, stopping me from annexing Canada and Brazil. All that right before I could annex Canada. And since I can't end the Canadian war without losing all that land, my already high war exhaustion just kept going up. And I couldn't make shifts to guard my capital after getting deserters. So Hong Kong also joined the war and took my capital. I'm really losing to 2 garbage players just because I got deserters as soon as the war started. And I just slowly get more war exhaustion. My stability was dropping, but I could mass declare and white peace to get stability back. And since I kept getting deserters, there's literally nothing I can do to win against Venezuela. I did a naval landing to retake my capital. I massively overestimated Hong Kong's troops because they were fully entrenched and my troops were just doing a naval landing, which has a very big debuff. And I still won and retook my capital somehow, with minimal losses. And of course, as soon as I get out of manpower depth, I get deserters again. So right now in Venezuela's mind, he's winning against a grandmaster because he makes strategic and smart decisions, not knowing that I can't even fight back because I get deserters. But then Venezuela sends a peace offer. All he wanted was Peru and Ecuador, and I only lost 30 million population worth of territory because even though he technically won the war, he was not even able to capture my cities. I can recover from the war now. 30 million population might seem to be a lot to you, but it actually isn't that much because I can easily just capture the land back later. The most important thing right here is that I am at peace with Venezuela, so I can recover from the war exhaustion. I still can't annex Canada because of deserters, since the Canadian players switched to Cuba to recapture, so I had no choice but to white peace and lose all of Brazil. So right here, I just did nothing and waited for war exhaustion to go down, so I could take the rest of the Americas. And after a very long time, the war exhaustion finally went down to 0 and went down to the point where I can retake the cities. I'm just gonna time lapse over the rest because there's not much to talk about. Ain't get a roll, no weed. Ain't get a roll, no switches. I was locked up on Christmas. Ain't get to see my people. Ain't get to hug my mama. Couldn't even give no kisses. Couldn't even post my Instagram cause these coward fellas be snitching. Everybody's act suspicious. My pride say that I'm tripping. When I'm all alone, my jail cell, I tend to get in my feelings. And all the smoke is that loud. Don't pass me no midges. And my smoke all my pain away, the only thing gon' hit it. I don't understand these women who go around pretending as if they really mess with me, so I love them off from the distance. Gonna say it right, be a main one who tricking. Got my remix pro magazine, cause every time I wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind. AK-47s, Mac 11s, Glocks and knives, and all these people, they be hating, trying to knock me off my grind. But I can't let them do it, I got murder on my mind. And finally, the MOAI statues are now spread across all of the Americas. Like and subscribe for more awesome videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.